Good, happy Wednesday morning, March 23rd, 2022. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Wednesday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Wednesday morning, so let's get started right now. First step, charges pending for 16-year-old in Orford after allegedly caught with pellet rifle near school. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Criminal threatening charges are pending tonight for a 16-year-old in Orford. Police tell News 9 a male dressed in camo wearing a ski mask with a rifle on his shoulder was stopped near Rivendell Academy. Now, the school went into a temporary lockdown as police investigated. We're told the juvenile was taken into custody, police seizing both a pellet rifle and a pellet pistol. There's no indication if the person was a direct threat to the school. The investigation is still underway.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Governor Sununu suggests new congressional redistricting map he would sign into law. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
The redistricting debate is heating up tonight at the Granite State and the State House as Governor Sununu is offering his own version of the congressional map. Sununu put out this map late this afternoon after saying that he will veto the map passed by the legislature for not creating two non-competitive districts that would give each party a safe seat in Congress. The governor's map would make adjustments to the current district, creating a more competitive first district and a second district that still leans Democratic. While Sununu is telling lawmakers this is a map he will sign, there appears to be very little interest among House Republicans in revisiting a process they believe they handled appropriately the first time around.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Criminal charges pending after police recover pellet pistol from a 16-year-old. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Threatening charges are pending tonight for a 16-year-old in Orford. Police tell News 9 a male dressed in camo wearing a ski mask with a rifle on his shoulder was stopped near Rivendell Academy. The school went into a temporary lockdown as police investigated. We're told the juvenile was taken into custody, police seizing both a pellet rifle and a pellet pistol. There's no indication if the person was a direct threat to the school. The investigation is still underway tonight.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Mount Washington Chamber of Commerce promotes new respect pledge. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Welcome aboard. Hi, I'm Jason. Welcome to Australia.
You are most safe from COVID in an outdoor environment. So it's been a wonderful way for us to introduce our area.
Janice Crawford, Executive Director of the Mount Washington Chamber of Commerce, says the National Forest gets about 6 million visitors a year.
And unfortunately, we realized that a lot of them didn't have a lot of experience in the outdoors.
Crawford hopes the Respect and Protect pledge will help. It includes planning ahead for reservations, parking, and weather and pandemic guidelines. It also mentions treating others with kindness and respect, throwing away trash, and not disturbing wildlife. This is all during a time Crawford says the area is having workforce issues, making self-reliance all the more important.
People come out and they want to have their vacation, and of course they want a certain level of service, and unfortunately we're not there.
But Crawford says the premise of the pledge is keeping the mystique to the backyard playground of New England that so many Granite Staters have come to enjoy.
If you talk to a lot of our guests who say that they have been coming up here for years, they came up first when they were a child, then they brought their children, they brought their children, their grandchildren. It's just a long history of coming up to visit the area.
In 2020, state tourism officials launched what they call a Leave No Trace campaign to help remind people to protect natural resources. In Lincoln, Grace Feinerman, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Unitil prepares for redistricting, looks to hire new generation of line workers. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Unitil is taking a proactive approach to its next generation of line workers.
It's a career path that might not be looked at by some folks. So we've been partnering with some of the local colleges and community colleges and really just trying to make sure folks know that this is an opportunity for them.
The company says it does not have any staffing issues at the present time, and this has nothing to do with COVID. They just want to be prepared when positions become available.
We don't have any issues in terms of staffing at this point, but we'd like to keep it this way.
Unitil employs approximately 40 line workers, but says the industry is preparing for a wave of retirements within its older workforce.
Fairly common knowledge that we're an older population in New England. Everyone's sort of looking at that and recognizing that it's a good idea to plan ahead.
Unitil representatives recently toured the line worker program at Manchester Community College, hoping to build a relationship with the school and connect with recent graduates of MCC's certificate program.
We've been in contact with them, talking with their recruits, talking with people in that training program, making sure they know about apprenticeship programs, effectively what the next steps might be after they go through training. But really, it's just sort of making sure that the people who are looking for these kind of jobs know about the jobs we have when they're out there.
Now, Eversource is another utility company that has already partnered with the Manchester Community College in their pre-apprentice certificate program, helping to train the line workers of tomorrow. Live in Manchester, Jason King, WMUR News.
I know you want.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. COVID subvariant continues to spread. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Out of the pandemic here at home and what they're now seeing here in the U.S. with this highly transmissible Omicron subvariant. Here's Ida Pilgrim tonight.
With that highly contagious Omicron subvariant, BA2, now making up about 35% of new cases in the U.S., Dr. Anthony Fauci tonight is warning the country could follow the U.K. with its own COVID resurgence.
We generally lag about 3 weeks or so behind the UK. So if we are going to see an uptick, we should start seeing it within the next week or so.
Fauci doesn't expect a strain on hospitals, but there are concerning signs. New infections and hospitalizations in the U.S. are no longer falling. And wastewater testing, an early warning system, shows COVID-positive samples increased at least 100% last week across 122 sites monitored by the CDC. And with testing sites closing, more Americans using at-home kits, and fewer states reporting daily cases, some experts are worried about what we don't know.
With this lack of data, we're flying blind, and we're at risk of repeating the mistakes of the past, being unprepared for a new surge, and unfortunately, that means unnecessary hospitalizations and deaths.
Well, it makes things more complicated. COVID relief funding is stalled in Congress. Starting tomorrow, 31 million uninsured Americans will no longer get free COVID testing or treatment. David?
All right, Eva Pilgrim tonight. Eva, thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great day, everyone, and goodbye.